Hello, beautiful person. My name is Ada Ad Astra, and this is Unconventional Counseling. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. With Uranus still in Taurus, passing over all of my chart, passing over all of your chart, things are changing pretty rapidly. And so even the types of things that I want to do on this channel are shifting. In this reading today, we're going to check in with your body, your mind, and your spirit, just because there's so much going on. All right, so let's get into our prayer and we'll get into our messages. Divine Alchemist, angels and archangels, ancestors for our highest good, celestial family, and spirit animals, we thank you so much for this day that you've created, this time that you've given us, this opportunity to commune and to check in with our body, with our mind, and with our spirit. Spirit guides and ancestors, please help me to channel a clear, a concise, and a healing message, an affirming message for those in the collective on their ascension journeys. Support me as a clear channel for you all to let people know what's going on with their body, with their mind, with their spirit, and what guidance there may be for them at this time, or encouragement. Spirit guides, we're so thankful for all that you are and for all that you do and for all that you continue to do for us in the ways that you are so consistent in showing up for us, especially when we ask. Help us to be really good stewards of the earth and of the abundance that you allow to be in our lives, the abundance that we ask for, the abundance that we are inheriting. Thank you for the people and the community that you invite into our lives. Thank you for the people that you show the exit from our lives. We're grateful to be standing stronger. We're grateful to know ourselves more. We're grateful to know our connection with you all the more. We'll say all these things and thank you all so much. Thank you in advance. Ashe. So let's see what's going on with your body at this time. Currently, you may be having bad body days and good body days, as people, especially folks who experience chronic illness, may call their relationship to their body on a given day. And you are in this place, maybe in this place of a feeling that your energy is dipping. With Mercury going into pre-retrograde at this time, you might be feeling the shift, especially if you have a lot of Mercury-ruled energy, if you have prominent Virgo energy, if you have prominent Gemini energy. Feeling Mercury's pre-shadow retrograde might be impacting the way that you're thinking. It might be impacting your energy levels. You might be really tired, especially also with this new moon approaching in Virgo as well. Yeah, it might be feeling like you're hitting a wall right now. And you've likely felt this before. at times of other transits, at other times when maybe you've been ill or when you've been experiencing a lot of grief or fatigue or burnout. And so because you felt this before, this is the time when you're feeling like really drawn to the dreams and the ideas that you've had before around how to make your health all the better. So I'm seeing you reconnecting to a vision that you've had for yourself, for your relationship with your health and with your body at this time. One where you see yourself being able to focus your energy in areas that you want to as much as possible, and being able to ask for help and be collaborative with other people or with providers for your care, as well as being able to release some of the guilt and the indecisiveness around how you want to proceed and how you're choosing to proceed when it comes to your life and your health and your wellness. With Uranus in Taurus and the North Node in Taurus, we have been talking about how it impacts our money and how it impacts our resources, but it also impacts our body. There are changes that we're going through at this time on a collective level and on individual levels that can seem scary. We might be finding that we're developing allergies to things that we've had in our lives for a long time, or intolerances in certain ways. And these are things that happen, people have food intolerances, people develop allergies, but you might be finding that after you eat certain things, you're just not okay. Maybe for longer than just a couple of hours. Maybe it's for the whole evening. Maybe you're noticing what's impacting your dreams. Maybe you're noticing when you eat at certain times that you feel really lethargic later in the day. There's something that's you're starting to see a pattern. You're starting to see some data points kind of coalesce at this time. Let's get some more guidance for you. All is necessary. Without darkness, there is no light. Like a lotus flower, you can grow from the mud and bloom in the dark. Free to fly. The past is behind you. No road takes you back. Give thanks for all you've learned. Spread your wings. So you're learning a lot about your body at this time, about your metabolism, about your digestion, about your mind, about your energy. And it can feel overwhelming because you may not know where all the pieces go just yet. You may not know how you want it all to go together. And because there's so much energy right now, and there's so much that's changing and shifting, especially with Mars in Gemini at this time, it's feeling like the energy is getting scattered. It's feeling like you have the vision of what you want for yourself. Maybe you want to try a new program, new workout program. Maybe you want to try a different way of eating, or eating at different times, or adding certain things to your nutrition plan. And it's just like you're feeling overwhelmed because there's so many possible routes of where you could go. Maybe things that you've been trying before that helped you feel really healthy are no longer working at this time because your body is changing. So know that this period that you're in, this darkness that you're feeling, it's necessary, because the pieces, the way that you're finding the pieces very organically and through this dark period, it's going to support you in putting them together. It's going to support you in terms of the resilience that you're building around the practice that it's going to take to keep putting things together and to keep trying different things. So just know that It's necessary. It's part of the process. You're not doing anything wrong. Fall back, retreat, pull your energy back, step away, take a needed break. You will awaken to a new point of view. It's amazing what a perspective shift can do. I am a powerful manifester. I trust, I believe, I receive. So as counterintuitive as it may seem, during this pre-shadow Mercury retrograde time that we're in, we'll be in this pre-shadow energy until the 9th of September. And through this period, this 8-month-long period where Mars is in Gemini, through this 8-year-long period when Uranus is in Taurus, it's just like you're allowed to let anything that used to weigh you down or that is currently weighing you down to fall back. You're allowed to drop it off. You're allowed to let it go. You're allowed to embrace the uncertainty of this time and to enjoy the pieces that you're understanding, to allow yourself to not know. You're allowed to rest. I can most definitely tell you the energy that I'm feeling in my body as an individual, but also as someone who can tap into the collective, we need a lot more rest than we even did before. A lot is shifting, and we might not be able to think ourselves through it with as much clarity as we can have other times. This might be the time to pay attention to what our body needs, and our bodies need a lot of rest right now. All right. I'm gonna leave the body reading here. If you are drawn to your relationship to your mind at this time, keep watching. I'll see you very soon. So we're continuing our reading and our check-in with your mind at this time. Let's see what's going on with your mind and what guidance or encouragement you're getting at this time. Okay, so in the body reading, just before the body check-in, one of the last messages we were getting was that rest is really important for your body at this time. Rest is also going to do wonders for your mind. You may be feeling like you're getting stuck in shame spirals or in anxiety spirals. You may be finding that you're hitting old narratives kind of like speed bumps. So you're cruising at let's say you're driving on the road of your life and you're cruising at, I want to say an altitude, whatever. You're driving on a road, you're flying in the air, you're doing both. So you're cruising at an altitude that feels really good for you, and then you hit this speed bump, and it's a very familiar bump. It's a narrative that you've heard before. It's a fear that you've expressed in your mind before. It's a critique that you've had of yourself before. It is something that fully derails you and kind of spins you out a bit. And then when you find yourself towards the end of that spiral, you may feel a lot of guilt or shame. You might feel like you wasted time in some regard because you want to go faster at this time. You want to be able to just allow yourself to be happy the majority of the time. You want to allow for yourself to speak in affirmations within your own mind. You want yourself to be able to move forward in your life in the areas that you're really scared to. You want to move towards creating the life that you want, and you know that a lot of it starts with your mindset. A lot of it starts with your imagination. A lot of it starts with what you believe is possible. You know all of this, and you put a lot of work in towards it. You try to. You're trying to be consistent as you can. But those speed bumps, it feels like they come out of nowhere. And it leaves you feeling pretty defeated at times, because you want to go faster. You want for your mind to cooperate with you. You don't want it to go down these shame spirals and anxiety spirals. You want it to move in the direction of your bliss and your joy. I get that. I really, really, really get it. And when Mercury goes retrograde, we are still in pre-shadow, but when Mercury goes retrograde, one of the many gifts it offers us is to see and feel and hear more clearly the speed bumps, the obstacles that get in the way of us living the lives that we want. And so it can be really hard and overwhelming to receive so much about where your mind goes when you're feeling disappointed, or when you're feeling lonely, or when you're feeling abandoned or betrayed. It can be really jarring to hear it so clearly, to hear core wounds so clearly, like, well, can't trust anyone, nobody loves you. Like, to hear something that heavy so clearly can be quite jarring. But it's important that you hear it, because once you hear it, that means that you know about it. And once you know about it, you can do something with it. You can feel it, you can grieve it, you can have empathy for yourself, you can seek support around it, you can find books on the subject of it, you can listen to affirmations that will help massage out the rest of it. Like, there are action plans once you know what you're working with. So what I'm seeing of this time is you getting clearer on what's an obstacle for you right now, what thoughts and what ideas and what beliefs and what fears are an obstacle for you in reaching the life that you want and creating the life that you want. We got fall back again, retreat, pull back your energy, step away, take a needed break. You will awaken to a new point of view. It's amazing what a perspective shift can do. So in the body reading, we were saying that your body really needs rest right now because of all of the many energies that are going on. In this mind check-in reading, what we're seeing is that for you to have the clarity that you desire because of how much energy is going on at this time, you need to rest. You need to pull your energy back. You need to take the self-led retreat and just be with your own energy for the weekend or for the week. You need to say no to some social obligations potentially. You need to not visit your family, or you need to, like, whatever the impulse is that you have. I'm not saying what you need to do. I'm saying to affirm what's coming up inside of you. You may be wanting to hermit at the time of this new moon in Virgo. Virgo energy is connected to the Hermit card in tarot, and there is such a beauty in embracing retreat, in embracing introversion, in embracing introspection. There is such a beauty in recognizing its value and the wisdom that arises from your solitude or from the silence. And there are perspectives that are going to shift when you do this and when you create that space for yourself. There are worries that you're going to have a new sense of clarity around, and you may be able to let go of a lot more quickly than if somebody else were telling you, don't be scared, don't be worried. That might not be helpful. Maybe it's just a story you're telling yourself. Notice what you say to yourself and others. You have the power to change the story. This is likely one of the insights you're going to have when you take this retreat for yourself, when you pull back your energy from different spaces or arenas of your life that are calling for it, that are grasping for it right now. You're going to realize that there are stories that you're telling yourself. And you're going to learn to trust yourself. Your intuition is powerful. Trust it. Nothing can replace your internal compass. It can be hard when fears are coming up to be able to hear which voice is your intuition. I will say that your intuition and your fear, they don't always speak with the same tone. Your intuition sometimes speaks with a calmness, and fear sometimes speaks the same thing again and again. Like a rumination, it speaks a worry. Sometimes it speaks logic, whereas your intuition is not always logical. Your intuition might say something like, book that trip, or say yes to that date. It might just say something super matter of fact, and honestly, that's not super logical. It's like, it's a feeling based, and you might get scared after you hear your intuition because a lot of times it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. But the fear will try to keep you in your comfort zone, or will try to sabotage you from what you desire. So if you're hearing the inner voice saying, book that trip, but you know that you're trying to save for a car, and if you book that trip, you're going to deplete all of your savings, that might not be your intuition. That might be something self-sabotaging. So it's like, it takes practice. It takes practice in discerning the voices within. But it does take a sense of you being the discerning one. So listen to all of the voices, hear them all. Hear them all. Hear the one that's telling you to go on the adventure. Hear the one that's telling you to stay at home. And then reflect on what your goals are and what your visions are. And ask yourself, what does this one mean? And what does that one mean? How do I feel when I hear go on the adventure? How do I feel when I hear go stay at home? If you're feeling a whole wash of relief, that could be your intuition. That could be your fear speaking. It's really hard. It's really hard. It takes a lot of self-knowledge to know. Allow. Let it all flow to you. Allow others to lead. Let go of control and expectations. Trust what is yours will always find you. So back to the mind and the intuition. If you're hearing within, do this thing, and you get really scared, but you're like, you know what? I think this is my intuition. Let me go for it. Let me just do it. Know that your decision of you doing that thing, it will reap some sort of outcome, and you'll learn through your action if that was for your highest good and in what way it was for your highest good. And we have get out of your own way. You are the reason, the cause, and the solution. Take back your power by remembering who you really are, as well as cleanse. You are water. Cry, sweat, drink, soak, swim to refresh. When your mind is feeling very clouded, when you're in a space of a lot of anxiety or rumination or shame spirals, this is the time to drink water. This is the time to go to a body of water, to dip your toes into a body of water, to take a bath, to take a shower, to wash your face, to wash your hands, to sweat it out, to move your body. This is the time to cry, because it's through the tears, through your emotions, that you'll be able to cleanse what's coming up in your mind. If you are wanting to see what your spiritual check-in is at this time, keep watching. I'll see you very soon. Hey there. Let's take a look at your spiritual connection right now, your relationship to your spirit and your spirituality, and what guidance there may be for you. Okay, so you're on a journey right now around neglect and abandonment. Those are major themes in your emotional life, but maybe also in your spiritual life. There may be times that you feel like spirit has left you, like your guides have left you, like there's a lot of distance between you and your spirituality or your spiritual connection. And I'm seeing that on this journey that you're on, there is a major breakthrough that you are currently experiencing, or that you will very soon, around this abandonment trauma. And I also see you celebrating with other people, celebrating with people of your soul family or your spiritual community, that you and they feel more secure now in your lives and in your spirituality. So that's really cool. That's the first message that came out, and that's really cool. I wonder if you feel very attached to how your mind typically runs and works. This is another gift, I guess it's a gift, I don't know, of Mercury going retrograde 3 times in a year, 4 times in a year, because when it goes retrograde, it shows us what we expect to just go a certain way. It shows us in our frustrations. It shows us in our experience of like devastation or disillusionment, or where we get very shut down around what experiences and narratives we get shut down around. When Mercury goes retrograde, even when it goes into pre-shadow, it can start to point out to us the ways that we are very attached to life going in one way that we deem right, in one way that we deem good, in one way that we deem that we are successful. And I appreciate Mercury for doing this every year, multiple times a year. It's difficult every time for me, but I appreciate Mercury doing this because I don't know that I would introspect to this level if Mercury didn't go retrograde like this. I don't know that I would be able to see my own frustrations around, like, what's an example? Even just like going to the grocery store and wanting the thing that you want to be in stock, wanting the thing that I want to be in stock, and it's not there, or it's more expensive than it was when I wanted it a couple of weeks ago, and feeling frustrated and just being like, ugh, what? Why is this happening? I don't like this. And I allow myself to feel my frustrations, and I allow myself to scoff and to roll my neck and to, say things out loud even when nobody's around me. I allow myself to do that. And still, these are moments when I'm like, wow, I really expected that to go one way. For me to be this upset or this disappointed or this frustrated, I had an expectation I didn't even realize. So Mercury going retrograde can show us what our expectations are, where they are, in what areas of our lives they are. And in a sense, it could kind of show us where we're out of alignment, or where we're feeling some imbalance. Like if we are feeling off in any way, when we notice that we get frustrated when it comes to money, or when we get frustrated when it comes to relationships with other people, it can be an indicator and kind of a sensor into what might be off in our lives, or where we might need more support, where we might need more reassurance, where we might need more encouragement. And one area that you may need more encouragement in at this time is your sense of individuality. Like the things that make you very, very, very authentic and unique. This may be the next journey, or the next aspect of your journey that you're feeling a bit off about. You know, you're celebrating that you don't feel abandoned constantly. And that's a beautiful thing. But there's something in your authenticity, and I'm not sure if it's that you don't trust yourself, or if it's that this fear of being abandoned has been so present and has added so much pressure to you for so long that even being free of this belief, even being freer around this, it doesn't alter, it doesn't change how you feel about being authentic. Like, there still may be a part of you that's afraid that if you are just your fullest expression of yourself, people will leave, people will be upset, people will judge or critique you, and that if they don't, that you will judge and critique yourself. So the person that you're becoming spiritually is one who can acknowledge that where you are, who can acknowledge that you're in a place of getting free around one thing and you can celebrate that you're also at the beginning of so many other things, and you still have visions of being even more solid within yourself. You have visions of connecting maybe your spirituality to your creativity, or your spirituality to your relationships, or your spirituality to your self-care and your relationship with yourself. And you might not know how just yet to do that. And because of all this energy, Mercury retrograde and pre-shadow and Mars in Gemini, because of Uranus in Taurus and squaring Leo and Venus, it's like there's so much of this feeling like a whoosh, a breakthrough, a surge of energy, and then feeling like a stop point, a very harsh moment, especially with Saturn in Aquarius. It's like forward and then a stopping point. And it can be really, really difficult to see the bigger picture in moments when we're feeling so jostled around, you know, and we're still not getting closer to, it feels like we're still not getting closer to what we desired. But you're becoming a person who can just be like, yeah, today's a hard day. And today's a hard day because I'm noticing I'm being hard on myself. Or today's a hard day because I don't have as much energy. Or today's a hard day because I wish that I was farther along in this process, but I know I gotta accept that I'm not there at that place of acceptance just yet. God lives within me as me. I have faith in what I cannot see. Free to fly. The past is behind you. No road takes you back. Give thanks for all you've learned. Spread your wings. I really love that line, no road takes you back. I think the more that I hear things like that, the more encouraged that I feel to keep moving forward on my path in my life. Maybe that resonates for you too. You are enough. You always have been. You always will be. Release attachment to relationships and achievements to feel worthy. So with the Virgo New Moon, there can definitely be an energy of needing to replicate something that you've seen somewhere else, or needing to add your own spin to whatever it is that you're beginning, and feeling this extra pressure to do more because you're just trying to do the thing you're trying to do, and be seen for it. There can be this extra pressure to do everything perfectly or to do everything very thoroughly, because otherwise maybe, again, you'll be critiqued or you won't feel worthy. However, it's the attachment, right, that we were mentioning. It's the attachment to the belief systems. It's the attachment to the fear that you'll be critiqued. It's the attachment to the fear that you had before that you would be abandoned that's warping your perception of your enoughness. It's not that your enoughness is wrong or there's something wrong there that needs to be tended to. It's that this fear is just, it's sprawled out. It's gotten very comfortable in your inner world. And it's the fear that can get in between you and your spirit guides, telling you that there's distance between y'all. It's the fear of being alone, of being abandoned, of being neglected, of being left, or being critiqued that can get in the middle between you, a trigger that you're having, and a relationship that you want to keep building. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Definitely be gentle with yourself. Mirror, as within, so without. Have compassion for yourself and for others. Everything is a reflection. When we change, everything changes. And the change that I see for you is something where you're starting small. Virgo energy takes a little bit at a time and keeps diligently working at that little bit. So if there's one thing, one practice that you have that really helps you feel connected spiritually, or really helps you feel like you're weaving in your self-care with your spirituality, or your creativity with your spirituality, do that. Let that be the thing, the practice that you cultivate over this next lunar cycle. Let that be the thing that you cultivate over the next week. Let that be the thing that you cultivate over this next month. Next 2 weeks for the full moon, to see what's manifest at that time, because taking that time and being diligent with something so small, you're going to start to notice changes in yourself, and other people are going to start to notice changes in you, and the compassion and the ability to celebrate yourself that you have will continue to increase. So we are going to leave our reading here. This was your check-in for your body, your mind, and your spirit at this time. And if this is some content that you've liked, feel free to like this video, to comment, to subscribe, and I will catch you in the future. We're going to keep seeing how this channel keeps unfolding. Thank you for being here. Bye.